I know. We need to catch up like over coffee or something, like for real, when we don't have something to do.
Yeah, and
Also, don't
you
mind the
c-
background noise, whatever's going on over here. I think my fiance is putting in the air conditioner in our bedroom, and I'm not going to stop the momentum. Okay.
oh, I don't hear anything.
Okay, good. We're going to make the noise sacrifice for me to have cool air at night.
I
So,
was gonna say
perfect. Thank you.
also, I don't know if you hear my background. Currently,
I
I have a
don't.
fan going.
We're good.
I do have a little bit of makeup that makes it kind of glowy, but this is also sweat. Uh,
Girl, just say you're glowing. Like your skin is glowing. You're so moisturized. Like nobody will tell you different.
so I have my hand fan, but I
Neat.
also have my big box fan going. We don't have air conditioning, and it's weird because it's feeling like that was only a sort of Southern California thing. When I moved here, a lot of homes didn't have air conditioning
Yeah.
because they were able to cool it down, but now,
Global warming is a bitch.
yeah.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, that being said, don't know how we got there. Hi, my name is Destiny. I'm a lesbian tarot reading witch,
And I'm Heidi, a bilingual psychic medium.
and today we're talking about us being prophets.
For a second, I was like, what are we talking about?
What are we even talking about? We don't know half the fucking time. It's valid. It's a valid question. No, but today we're
So,
talking about how we see visions, how we receive psychic information, what that actually tangibly, physically looks like for us to
mhm.
maybe inspire you to do the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we practice similar things, not the
Mhm.
same. Heidi's main gig, like she said, she's a psychic medium. That's what she does all the time. Like that is her main thing. You go to see her, you're seeing her for psychic mediumship. You come
Mhm.
to see me and you're seeing me for tarot readings.
Mhm.
Um, and there's some mediumship and psychic ability mixed into that, which we'll get into.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said, it's not my main thing. So I think I'm excited, or not, I think I'm excited. I am excited for us to talk about what that similar gift looks like when practiced in such different ways.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is really your court. Why don't you kick us off? Like, what does that look like to you when you say spirit is speaking to you, or you're seeing something, or
Yeah.
you're getting something? What does that like actually mean?
So I believe that we all have that ability. And the first time I heard one of my mentor slash teacher person say that, I was like, okay, because I really thought you had to be born with it. Like, if you weren't born with it, or if you didn't see, ghost spirits since you were a child, I didn't think you could develop this ability. So you can. For those who are wondering, you can. And so, have you seen Ghost Whisperer
Yes.
with Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yes.
I used to watch that show all the time. So, the reason I'm bringing up that show is because have I seen a spirit who looks like in full, like if I'm looking at you, have I seen a spirit like
With your
that
eyeballs.
with
Yeah.
my eyeballs? Yes. Um, I don't know. I would say to that, maybe, and I brushed it off before, but the way that I normally, like, day to day, you know, see a spirit is they're here. I see them in my mind's eye. And so I'll be sitting with someone, and if I have my eyes closed, I see them again, same place, seeing them in my mind's eye. But if I have my eyes open and I've shifted my awareness to communicate with the other side, I can see sometimes like outlines of
Yes.
of people. And I have had moments, this is in the beginning, where I'm talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden I get this image. It's so hard to explain because I see it with my eyeballs. I see the person in front of me, but in my mind's eye, I'm seeing spirit next to them. Does that make sense?
with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is very close to what or exactly the same as to what I mean when I say I see things. And you know what piece of media describes that really well is The Conjuring. I
I haven't
recently
seen that.
you gotta watch it. I recently rewatched The Conjuring because I hadn't seen it in a while. And trigger warning, suicide. Okay, it's a
Mm-hmm.
horror movie. Trigger warning, trigger warning.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, The Conjuring is the house is haunted by a girl that was hung from a tree or hung herself from a tree. I don't remember, okay? She's hanging from a
Mm-hmm.
tree. And the main character and her husband, the main character is like the medium, right? And her
Okay.
husband are outside underneath the tree. Husband can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Main character girl, psychic, is looking at the tree like in horror, but you can tell that like it switches back from her mind's eye to the physical eye and nothing being
Yes.
there. And she knows to differentiate that. She like looks at it, she like looks around the tree, and then she just like continues on. Like she doesn't say like, "Oh my God, like there's somebody behind you," like you would
Right.
expect out of like the physical sight, but
Mm-hmm.
personal knowing of what she's looking at.
Yes.
So, yes, I totally get what you mean. And the best descriptor media that I found is with The Conjuring. I would encourage you to watch it. And if you're curious about how that looks, watch The Conjuring. I feel like they do a really good job of depicting psychic paranormal connection like that.
That's so funny because literally, what are you psychic or something? I was thinking about The Conjuring because, my interest started in paranormal occult stuff like really young. And so I've been watching paranormal investigations, whatever it is, movies and stuff like that, um, since I can remember. But I was just watching a paranormal investigation about the house where
Hmm.
The Conjuring supposedly, I guess, took place or something like that. And in my head, I was like, I feel like I need to watch it. So
You do need to
funny
watch it. There you go.
validation.
Validation. Watch The Conjuring. Everybody should watch The Conjuring. I love The Conjuring and The Conjuring franchise. It's a great movie series.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
yes, you're looking at the physical person and knowing that the other thing that you're seeing. I also describe like your mind's eye is like where your imagination sits. Like
literally,
that I used to have a pastor that also
hmm
described it in a way that I still use is like when whenever we'd be praying, he'd be like, in the theater of your mind, envision blah 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 blah.
hmm
And yeah, it is like the theater of your mind, like where you sit and watch that like imaginative, not real
hmm
space is where
that's
your mind's eye envisions and prophecy or whatever you want to call it comes from.
I'm glad that you said that because that is also something that a teacher once told me when I was like, how do you, I don't know how to like access what? You know what I mean? And then what they described was it lives in that area. You're going to learn what your imagination is versus what spirit is.
Yeah, and if you don't know, it is very hard to differentiate initially. It's
Yes.
still sometimes hard to differentiate as a psychic. Like
Oh, yeah.
I see things and I wonder and test like, is this me interjecting or is this spirit? Because it does feel very familiar. And then some things are just indescribable.
Yeah.
So
Just, I
yeah.
mean, what you're describing is trusting yourself. And I fully understand that feeling because, what I do on my other channel is like communicate with other spirits. And so when I hear, and when I say hear, it's also in here, hearing, but I know it's not my thought. So I question it sometimes. And I've gotten better over the years in this sort of trusting myself. So how spirit speaks, spirit uses all of my clairs. Clairvoyance is the one in your mind's eye. Clairaudience is internal and external, which Destiny, I've been meaning to talk to you because there's been more external. Yeah. And I've been asking for it. I've been asking to hear spirit outside of myself. And that's the other thing is that when you work, when you're developing your abilities, spirit wants you to. It's not something that's how do you say? It's not something that's not accessible. It's just,
Mhm.
are you ready for that? Do you want that? The next one, or kind of both in the same way, is I do want to see them more out here. And am I nervous? Yeah, I'm nervous because the stuff that has been ingrained into, that or fear for me, I feel like I'm gonna see the person like hanging from that tree, and I'm not going to be able to tell reality versus imagination or clairvoyance and whatever. But that's not how it works. And I feel like when you do start hearing stuff, and if it's too much, all you have to do is say, I'm not ready for that. I'm not
Yeah.
ready for it. Could you work on something else that I'm not fearful of?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If you get a tarot reading from me, if you're not in a bar, because if you're in a bar, I have to be screaming at you, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're getting your tarot read by me in a calm environment, virtual or otherwise, I will often look away from you. I won't look at you while I read. I'm looking into space because my body's not there.
Yeah.
I am using my mouth to explain to you what's happening between the cards and what's happening in my mind
Yeah.
and consider your feelings and allow divine to kind of flow again in like
That's a
my
lot.
third eye. It's a lot.
It's a lot
So,
to balance while you're talking, while
yeah,
you're trying to
for
get a
sure.
message out.
But honestly, when I'm looking away, it just feels like they're very connected. Like it's not very hard. It's
Yeah.
just like kind of fluid through me.
Yeah.
Um, but I see, moving faceless images. I see weather. I see your favorite soda. I just see like little, almost like TikToks of
Mhm.
like
Reels. Mhm.
reels, TikToks that like short form video that just
Yeah.
rolls by. When I hit it and when I talk about it, I get another one and another
Yeah.
one and another one. And sometimes I'll pick a focal point that is an alive being. For example, I read tarot for somebody recently and they were sitting like their back was against these trees and the branches and the leaves were moving. And I literally just said, like, tell me about this, like, explain this to me. And I just felt like all of a sudden I just started getting vision, 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 vision after I like asked that. And I asked the sister, I was like, do you talk to the trees when you are
Yeah.
upset or you're going through something? Like, do you have a tree that you sit under, that you journal under, that you
Yeah.
cry to, that you touch,
Mhm.
something? And she said, that's crazy that you said that because yes, I do. I said, yeah, because they're telling me all your damn business right now.
Mhm.
Because it was this rapid fire of information once they got the trees involved.
I
And
love that.
yeah, and so she felt like very like, oh my God, like that was crazy for her.
Yeah.
Um, another one is I was reading for somebody and the Six of Cups came out, which if you don't know, the Six of Cups is a older girl giving a younger girl, like a child, a cup
Mm.
with flowers sprouting in the chalice. And I just saw like the Six of Cups, but with a soda, like Six of Cups handing a soda and then
Mhm.
like the gas station soda fridge. And I
Mhm.
was like, get your younger self like her favorite soda. Let her have what she wants and make room for her. And she goes, oh my God, I just bought my first Code Red for the first time in years. That was my favorite soda as a kid. I used to drink it all the time.
Oh
So
my
it
God.
comes very direct, the image
Yes.
you. Um,
Yes.
And then sometimes it can be more ambiguous as well. When I'm doing sound healing for people, I will often see, like, again, a faceless body running or crying by a river or like doing something when I'm like directly consulting the person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if I'm just consulting their stuff, I feel like I get a
Mm-hmm.
greater variety. And it all happens in the same place. That's where I got my first vision. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
continue to get visions. I have asked to see in person or like with my eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have not seen anything. And I feel like Divine knows that's for a reason because I often will see like the like figures at the corner of my eye or turn and think I see something and something's not there, which I do recognize like is spirit. But I
Yeah.
think there's enough plausible deniability that doesn't make me afraid, but sometimes
Right.
it does.
Right.
And so I think like spirits probably hold out on me, which is fair, I understand.
Yeah, because I think what's that saying? Divine timing, right?
Yeah, and like I have a spirit guide that is very protective of me, and very protective of like my space and my gifts, and I've just kind of given that spirit guide like the reins for like
Yeah.
what is like allowed in my space and what's not allowed in my space and trust that he makes good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my ancestors, so I feel like that also has something to do with it, and I'm not going to argue with the one that's in spirit, you know what I mean? Like I'm just a
Right.
human. Like if my guide thinks no, then let it be no, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I respect that. I haven't asked for really any other gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Clairaudience, I'm not super interested in that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be hearing things in my ear I already can barely fucking hear as it is. Like, I don't want to be getting invisible messages.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also maneuver the world differently, I think, than you do. I think you're like in
Mm.
your spiritual capabilities a lot more than probably
Mm.
I am, versus I
Mm.
very much turn it off, and I can turn it on like a light switch for sure. Somebody comes
Mm-hmm.
to me, they need a reading or they're having a hard time or they need some type of energy work. Boom, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
But when that is not being requested or not needed from me, it's completely shut down. So I feel like that also plays into it a little bit that like there's not a lot of playtime for spirits
Yeah.
showing themselves to me. You know what I mean?
I I totally get that because it is an on and off switch. I think one of the things when you're working on your abilities and stuff, you need to learn how to do that because it
It's not
can
healthy to
be,
have it on all the time. Like, I know it feels good to feel powerful,
yeah,
but that also causes you spiritual psychosis. Okay. Like,
yes.
we need to remember we're having a human experience, babe. Like,
Yeah, like we live here.
we live here,
Yeah.
we operate here, and we can go there at times of choosing, but to operate there all the time
Mm-mm.
is going to lead you to some challenging situations.
Yeah. I also have a switch on, switch off. When I'm home, I feel like it's kind of always on in the sense of, I have a room or I have altars where my ancestors and other deities or things like that, where I just feel like they're always around. But if I switched into the sort of, I want to know who's around me, I can definitely do that. What I was gonna say, because I'm losing my train of thought. Heidi after 6 o'clock. Um, so when I'm out and about, what happens is that let's say I like to go thrifting, right? There's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of people's personal belongings. Maybe they have passed, maybe they haven't. There's still some kind of energy with an item. So if I pick something up, or if I'm standing in an aisle and I just sense something, like whether it just be like a dense, like I've walked into somewhere dense, or nausea, like that's a
Mhm.
big sign for me. But then once I turn that switch, I'm like, oh, there's an older woman next to me. This
Correct.
was, yeah,
Yes. I
Yeah.
completely agree once again, girl. This is why we're
Yeah.
here, okay?
Yeah.
Because, and I think we all have that ability. You ever walk into a room that you haven't walked into before and you can tell that there was just a fight? Like you
Yeah.
can feel the
And
energy.
everybody can feel that. I mean, as
Everybody
far
can
as I
feel that.
know, as far
And
as I
the
know.
only difference between you and I is that if
Mm,
I really wanted to get nosy and
yeah.
care enough,
Yeah.
you can switch on the psychic ability to figure out what happened, what's going
Right.
on, and a
Right.
little bit of information. That is totally right. The energetic feeling you really can't turn off as an
Yeah.
intuitive, right? Like
Yes.
you walk into a room, you feel something weird. It's dark and you're running through an alleyway and it feels like somebody's behind you, nobody's behind you. Like that is always there.
Mm-hmm.
But the ability to turn on to inquire about it
Mm-hmm.
is where your psychic and intuitive ability, like, or your psychic ability begins.
Right. When I first started this, my friends they were wondering if I could read their minds. Again, something from media, right? If I could read their minds, if I could know their deepest, darkest secret, where I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. First of all, I'm an ethical psychic medium. And so if you haven't asked me to go into your energetic field, I'm not going to. The only energetic field that I enter without consent is if I feel like there's somebody sketch, like you were describing the dark alley, um, where I go into that feeling, I'm like, is it because it's a dark alley? Or am I feeling somebody's intentions? You know what I mean?
Yes, and you know what? I am a self-proclaimed chismosa personally.
Yes. Yes.
And so if I feel like somebody's even sniffing wrong around me or something's threatening or something's weird, girl, I'm pulling out those cards. I just did it today at work.
Yeah.
Okay. I literally
Right.
just did it today at work with my boss. Something sketchy happened. We weren't really sure. I
Yeah.
gotta check. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be sketchy, you give me maybe unintentional permission to see what the fuck is up since I can't rely on
Right.
you. But
Right.
yes, totally. If you didn't ask me to and you're not my sister and you're not being
Mhm.
sketchy, I'm not
Mhm.
gonna flip cards about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sisters are exempt from psychic abilities. Like I'm pulling out those cards any motherfucking time.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing what you're getting into.
Mhm.
So watch
Well,
out.
you're the older sister, right?
I'm the
So
oldest of
you're
five. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
that
gotta
sounds
check
like
in.
very elder sibling of you. Hmm.
I gotta check in. But I gotta tell you, the worst thing about it though is when I find out some news that they don't know yet and it's not good. Like rough. One of my
Mm.
sisters, she never listens. She's literally never gonna listen to this, so we can go on about it. Dating somebody, awful vibes. Even my other brother knows it, who's like their oldest brother. He's the one younger than me.
Yeah.
Um, awful vibes, not good, but
Hmm.
can't say anything. Like, we just got to keep it to ourselves. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
rough, you know?
Yeah. And that's
So,
again, anyone can get vibes off of people, right?
totally. Yeah. One time, me and my friend were actually walking through a Target. My friend's intuitive too. She reads tarot for herself, not a professional, but an
Yeah.
enthusiast and uses it for her own healing, whatever. We were both in a Target together. We were just walking. This had never happened between me and her before. And
Yeah.
this man walked by us, and once he was like 5 feet from us, we looked at each other and she goes, "Did you feel that?" And I said, "Yeah, did you?" And she was like, "Yeah, that was actually really scary." And I said, "No, my stomach dropped." And like he didn't say a word to us. He didn't
Yeah.
look in our direction.
Yeah.
It sent shivers down our spines and pits in our stomach, both simultaneously when he walked by. We didn't
Mm.
even say anything about it to each other beforehand.
Yeah.
You can feel it. You can
You
feel
can,
it.
because we all are made of energy. And
It's
so,
true.
yeah, if you think about the way I think about it too is like people's auras, right? It's going boom, boom,
Yeah.
kind of
And you
thing.
know what? I'm sure you people that are easy to talk to or
Hmm.
just have that face that makes people want to tell you their whole life. Girl, you know what we're talking about because
Yes.
it goes both ways. You can feel when somebody's crazy and you can feel when somebody's pure of intention and will just hold space for you. That's us
Yes.
easy to talk to, gals.
Isn't that funny? The thing that I was gonna say about walking into a room is also um, through development, you'll also be able to recognize what is residual energy, like that walking into a room, somebody just had a fight, or 50 years ago, something tragic happened where that trauma, that feeling is still in that room, but that's different than a spirit talking to you or you
Totally.
communicating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the communicating is really, like we talked about earlier, intentional. Like, do you want to peel back that layer? And I think we talked about this a little bit in our haunted objects episode, but that
Mm-hmm.
like every object has or can initiate attachment. But it's not inherent unless you seek it out. And
Mm-hmm.
spirit communication is kind of the same way, where like you can feel the
Yes.
energy of a thing and
Yes.
initiate a conversation, or you can just feel the energy of the thing and move on. Um,
Yes.
so like this is also a good example of like my work too. Like my work is a really old building right on train tracks. There's
Oh,
so
train
much
tracks.
energy on train
Mm-hmm.
tracks, or by train tracks. I hate being there alone
Mm-hmm.
because you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can feel that you're not alone. There was
Yeah.
even one day where I like my office is very mazy, like lots of corners, hallways, whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
was there by myself and I turned the corner and I jumped and I went, "Oh, you scared me." There was nobody fucking there. There was
Oh,
nobody
what
there.
did you do? What did you do?
I looked around and I just kept walking and I left.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I had to leave. Like I was only going in there like briefly for something like I had forgotten something at work and it was late. And like we have access keys to our building, right? Like we can go in there after hours. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, and that was the time I was like, whoa, that's probably the closest I've ever come to probably seeing a ghost with my eyes. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, like thinking that was a whole person enough to speak out loud and apologize for
Mm-hmm.
jumping. Like
So that's yeah. And then there's that, right? Where there's it because it probably was kind of like the peripheral
it
thing where
was
you kind
just
of the
like that. Like
shadowy.
I just thought like there was not
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, he was wearing this outfit and he was blah 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 blah. It
Mm-hmm.
was like I thought it was like somebody bent over. Like I saw like a roundish, large, like black figure that was clear enough to be a person.
Um, which is so I while you were talking, I was looking up because I actually looked this up recently. I was reading with someone who lives near train tracks and reading in their home, so we were near the train tracks. And so here it says with regards to trains going through and train tracks, supernatural energy in various paranormal communities. Iron is historically believed to act as a magnet or a protective anchor for spirits. The train itself is like almost like portal because of it's traveling. So there were spirits who were just passing through. The thing that I was going to say too, because a lot of folks will be like, oh my God, I'm not going to buy anything thrifted. I'm not going to buy any antiques. Everything has energy that is from, whatever. That may be true. The likelihood, I guess, is higher, right? However, if I go into a brand new home, there's still going to be spirit.
Exactly. And again, it's whether you initiate communication. I didn't sit
Yeah.
there and talk to the fucking ghost that I just saw when I went into
Yeah.
my office. I just said,
Yeah.
I'll get out of your way. Like, I'll go. And
You felt like you were interrupting maybe
yeah,
also.
totally.
Mhm.
And um I absolutely could sit there and channel the spirits of my office and the land that
Mhm.
my office is on. And there would be an answer, girl. There would be an answer quickly.
Because
Um,
everywhere,
it's everywhere.
everywhere.
But I'm not trying to open that door, so I don't. I leave it closed. And that's what you can do also with your thrifted and antiqued items is
Mhm.
yes, acknowledge whatever, there's a certain energy that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of that's what I kind of like about thrifted and antique items,
Yes,
right?
I do too.
But
Yeah.
you don't need to communicate. You don't need to go the extra mile. I saw this TikTok of this girl and she was like, everything head to toe thrifted. I'm every woman for real. And like basically was saying like she was every woman that wore the clothes before her. That is
I
so
love
cute.
that.
Like,
I
I
love
love
that.
that. I love getting thrifted jewelry and just feeling like,
Mhm.
oh, I feel as beautiful as the girl probably did when she first bought it. You
Yes.
know, when I get a thrifted embroidery hoop or thrifted whatever mug or whatever, like you do feel
Hmm.
this like sentimental connection to the person before you. And that's
Yeah.
not dirty and that's not
Yeah.
wrong and that's not ruined.
Hmm.
You just need to be spiritually proactive and not take it the extra mile if you don't want to. There's
If
people
you
like
don't want
you.
to.
Yeah, there's people like you who collect haunted items and that's what you're there to do. You're there to take the
Hmm.
connection to the next level,
Yeah.
but you don't have to, and it's not going to be forced upon you.
And that's the other thing is that, again, even if you buy something new, who made it?
Yeah.
What was happening during that time? Because there could be, and when I say like negative energy, I mean, maybe there's anger attached to whatever that was created during that time. Um, the thing that matters is how you feel when you're near it, how you feel when you pick it up, how you feel when you look at it. When I go thrifting, when I get these items, I used to religiously, or how do you say, it was a ritual every time. Like I had to cleanse it. I had to cleanse it with incense, with water, with whatever it was, because I didn't want to bring anything in with me. But then I was like, Heidi, you bought it. You felt good about it. So why are you cleansing it? So I don't do it anymore because I don't feel like I'm picking up those items. And if I do, I put them back.
Yeah, girl, I don't even cleanse my like spell ingredients.
So see,
Controversial. I'm not cleansing the jar that I'm using. I'm not cleansing my spell plate. It's like a fucking
yeah,
cast iron in that bitch. Okay,
yeah,
it's seasoned with
right.
my workings before, or whatever guidance, blessing, whatever it came with. And at the end of the day, if I get some new little glass spell jars, I'm not cleansing those bitches either, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, girl, it's glass. Like it's gonna
It's
do what I tell it to do,
it's
and
glass.
that's it.
That's exactly it. It's the sort of boundaries that you put up, right? And then like we were talking about, and I know we're referring back to the haunted item stuff, the ring that you have, when you do feel an off energy, you can do something about it. It's not that
Totally.
all of a sudden you have to burn your house down.
Literally, I didn't have
Like,
to go bury it away. She's
yeah,
still sitting in her jail cell, and that's
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And she can't get me, and she couldn't get me even if I took her out of her jail cell. The jail cell
yeah.
is a nicety. Doing it for you, not for me. I love you.
There's a quote that I love from, it's actually kind of funny. It's from that Netflix series, The House Hill on House on Haunted Hill, something. It's a Netflix series,
Yeah.
where it talks about essentially like it's a scary, tall spirit man, top hat, whatever, that is trying to get into this person's face. And the dad that's with him says something so profound about fear and about the son and his ability to not let not give it his energy of his fear. um I'll look it up, but I feel like that changed something in me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So, I mean, in closing, the bullet points are you will only get what you request, and if it's too much, you can turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
You all have the ability to communicate and commune with divine and spirits around you if you wish, but it's optional.
Mm-hmm.
And you can develop your abilities, powers in whichever way you wish. If you're new to this, stay true to this. Look in your mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
You've had the power all along. Trust what you're seeing in the theater of your mind, your quote unquote imagination, your mind's eye, whatever you want to call it. Um, and really dissect those images
Mhm.
and buy whatever you want. Don't give spirit permission over your physical life. And that goes for
Mhm.
anything. You're the living authority here. So act like it, bitch.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say too is if there are things that you feel like you've shifted awareness and you've tapped into some things that you feel like you don't have control over, the first thing I would look into is mundane reasons.
Mm,
What's going on in your life? Is there mental health stuff going on? Because, like you said, if I think it's related to the spiritual psychosis part too, we're not meant to live in that place 24/7. We will be there someday,
we're gonna have lots of time. Don't rush it.
but don't like stay grounded, stay here because we are meant to live this life right now. Yeah.
Totally. It's wonderful life. Even when it's not, it's still wonderful. So anyway, thanks for listening to us yap for another week.
Yeah.
Talk to ghosts, but be careful. Don't
Yeah.
talk to strangers. And remember always that you
You
are the
are the
vessel
vessel
in
in
between.
between.
Toodles.
Bye.